All right. Hello, everyone. So I wanted to make a draft, like, kind of tutorial video, because it's a fairly new format, and to be honest, I think a lot of people struggle with this format starting out. It's just like not talked about a lot, and no one really knows what to do, and it's kind of just like a misunderstood format. So I wasn't gonna make this originally, but like a lot of people signed up for this tournament in like Div 3, and I thought this would be kind of important to make, just to like give some pointers, because like I said, no one really talks about this format, and I see a lot of people make mistakes, and I want everyone to succeed and all. So this is like kind of just a mini overview of the format, and just kind of like me talking about what goals are good, what goals are bad. Some of it might be a little subjective. I don't claim to be like a bingo master or anything. So, if you don't agree with something in the deep meta, just it's whatever. Just I'm trying to just give a general overview of things, just because I would like to see people succeed at this format, and hopefully a few people in the newer divisions will take a liking to it and maybe make this their own format. So I'll get started. Sorry, that was lengthy. So you want to reveal the card. In draft, you get 5 picks. You and your team will go. You and your team. You and your opponent will go back and forth in a ladder format. So you'll get one. They'll get two. You get two. They get two. I'm just clicking random goals. And then yeah. So that's essentially how it goes. One person rolls with the coin. So once these 5 goals are selected, you have 30 minutes throughout the match, and your opponent to do these. Your opponent cannot click them during those 30 minutes. So these goals are protected. It's a safe barrier. So we'll talk about what goals are good to do during this period. What goals are bad. So let me unclick everything, because I made a mess of this card. So typically, you want to click stuff that doesn't reveal you either want to click things that don't reveal too much, or aren't super obvious. So something like 3 red coins is very versatile. It's actually a very good pick on this card. There's synergy with levels. There's synergy with episodes, potentially. There's no Delfinos on this card, but it's fine. You can do these 3 reds anywhere under 30 minutes. In a normal bingo lockout match, you might rush Delfinos. You might have to do like the Bianco reds or something. So here you have a lot of versatility. Like if you wanted to do, I don't know, something weird like Rico 4R for some reason, like with Hidden Rico, you could do that. You have that choice. You can do 3 reds however you please. So it doesn't necessarily reveal information. You can be kind of discreet with it, which is what's good about it. So that's something that's strong to pick. There's always like kind of the obvious picks, like Bianco 4 Floodless, which just kind of reveals that you're probably going to do Bianco 4 Floodless. Like maybe you intend to do it with your 3 reds if you're able to click both. That's usually fine. While it does reveal information, it's such a like free goal usually that it doesn't hurt to have. So something like that is okay to click. 11 Delfinos is actually one of the best draft goals. It's obviously like, pretty obvious what you're doing. You're doing 11 Delfinos, but it's such an easy goal that it's really nice to have, and you don't have to rush it. Like in an invasion match, you would have to rush it from the beginning. It takes a while. You have to do jelly skips, whatever. It's kind of not fun. In a draft match, you have 30 minutes to get 11 blues. Like you can get like, a few on the way to Gelato unlock. You can get a few, during Rico unlock. You can, whatever. You can get a few on the way to Pinna. You have a lot of versatility. So 11 Delfinos is like one of the best draft goals, hands down, in my opinion. So stuff like that's good. 9 Serenas is okay draft goal as well. Something like that. You can kind of bait your opponent with that kind of goal. Since Serena's not that bad on this card, like you click 9 Serena, and let's say you do it during the draft period, your opponent's no longer going to want to do 18 Serena blues. They realize that 5 secrets might be a little more contested. Serena's not that insane on this card otherwise. They might worry about 5 bosses. Serena's not that good, but it's something you can do on Serena heavy cards. So that's overall a pretty good goal. You could do something like 16 Pinna Blues. Sometimes you will get to Pinna earlier, and that's actually a fairly fine goal to do. Totals is also not like a terrible draft goal. It depends on the card, really. Like, if there's like 20 from 2 and 23 Rico and just a bunch of blues stuff, 45 totals is pretty good. Otherwise, you might just commit to something that is not amazing. That also brings me to a point that you don't have to do all your draft goals. Like, let's say you're just like stressed during the draft and you just click something like you don't want to do, like 100 in gelato, or I don't know, something stupid like 18 Serena Blues. You don't have to do it. Like, I've seen a lot of players starting out saying like, okay, I need to do every one of my draft goals in this time. You don't have to. It really doesn't matter. You can ignore a draft goal if you think it's bad. That's part of playing draft, is just like adapting. Sometimes you will get a bad draft and you just kind of have to adapt to it. So that's something I recommend, is just realizing when your draft sucks, because sometimes your draft will suck. You don't have to go for everything. You can reasonably go for like 2 or 3 of your drafted goals and still win a draft. It's not unheard of. Stuff you don't want to draft is, first of all, you want to pay attention to stuff that can actually be done in 30 minutes, especially if you're a slower player. You want to keep that in mind. Eventually, you're going to run out of stuff that you're like not going to likely do in 30 minutes anyway, because some cards just don't have a lot of early game stuff. But you see something like 12 level shines and something like 3 from 4. You do not want to draft like 12 level shines, because even like a top player is going to struggle to get 12 level shines. It's really a commitment. And keep in mind, after the 30 minutes is up, if you do not get that drafted goal, you still have to click it anyway. So you just kind of removed yourself from a free delay click, essentially. So you don't want to, you don't want to click goals like this. 8 episodes might be a fine draft goal. It's pretty new to the meta, so I would assume it's like okay, but it's kind of probably on the same tier as that. You don't want to draft something like Pinna 5 from the back coverless. Even if for some reason you're going to Pinna rush and get there in 30 minutes, you do not want to reveal that to your opponent. There's just some goals you just probably don't want to. There's some like average goals. Like, if there's nothing left on the card, Bianco 20 is fine. Typically, I would not really prefer a player clicks this as a draft, because it's just like Bianco 20 is fairly slow compared to Bianco 15. But if there's like rockets on the card, it's fine. Otherwise, you're just kind of like revealing to your opponent, hey, I just did 5 slow blues and spent an extra minute getting them. So it's kind of like just a mixture of that kind of stuff. It really is card dependent sometimes, but typically those are some of the goals you want to go for. I'll make a new seed. We can analyze another one. I had a better seed, but I lost it in my notes. Sorry. I do not have a good professional setup. Okay. See how that looks. There we go. Okay, so we'll reveal another card. Talk about some other goals on this card. So something like 3 boss shines is really good. There are occasions where 4 boss shines will be good as well. If there's 3 and 4 boss shines, you get 3. Your opponent might choose 4, and that shouldn't stress you out too much. Because it might be a bait from their side to like try to scare you from bosses. I don't know. You're typically going to get 3 bosses anyway, but keep that kind of stuff in mind. 15 M's is one of those 11 Delfino type goals where typically you would have to probably do Rico in a normal lockout and hope you get it first. However, here you can do your M's in Pinna, you can do it in Pianta 3, you can do it in Gelato, like as some of your worlds. You can get the 1 in Gelato with some other cursed M's, I don't know. So that's a pretty good goal. I like 50 from 2 as a draft goal. I know a lot of the top players do not like it personally, so I will not recommend it to you because, I don't know, I don't want Ramato and Larvi to come at me, Kipo, but I like this goal personally, but understandably it's not the greatest draft goal in the world, but you do have your leisure to get 50 from 2. If there are hundreds on the card, it's not too bad. Like there's 100 in a secret level, 100 from Gelato. If you wanted to do some like wacky stuff with that, maybe it works. 150 also is really good just because if there are Delfinos on the card, or you think you can just route it in nicely. Turbo is like an okay like throwaway pick. It's not too great in 30 minutes. unless you like have plans to maybe get Wiggler, or you feel like it's contested. But typically, one Turbo Unlock is not going to be too contested, and you may reveal you did Bianco. There are occasions where Turbo might come into play as a good draft goal. It just depends on the card. For example, if you see yourself getting a Rico 7, maybe with Boss Rematch, maybe it works, or maybe you bait your opponent by saying, like, I'm going to get these two, I'm doing Rico. Or Bianco, really, with Shadow Mario. Not a bad play on this card, maybe. But on some cards, Turbo may not be the greatest pick. Something like Hidden in Serena, I would not recommend revealing. It just reveals way too much, in my opinion. You spent 7 minutes of your 30-minute period doing one goal, and there's not a lot of other Serena synergy on the card. 3 Fruit Ladies is one of those okay draft goals. You can kind of do it at your own pace. So I won't, sit here and analyze every single draft goal. I just kind of wanted to give a general guide to draft because I find that it's actually a really good format, and I know it doesn't get the most love, and I feel like it's kind of just misunderstood. If you disagreed with stuff I said in this video, I expect not everyone to agree on what I think is a good draft goal and what isn't. But it's I just wanted to give some general pointers. This isn't like a complete guide to the meta, and everyone's going to have different thoughts on what's great and what's not. But those are some of my kind of pointers. Don't pick stuff that's going to be too slow. Don't pick 12 level shines. Don't pick 3 from 4. Just you're not going to get any of that. It's too much. It's just too much, especially as a slower player. Even as a faster player, I don't recommend it. Don't pick stuff that's going to reveal way too much. 20 from 2 will reveal a lot, unless it's insane on this card, which it's not bad, but I don't know. Something like this, that would reveal everything, so you probably don't want to do that. Just, keep in mind what reveals your route. Be discreet if you can. 3 bosses, 3 reds. That can be a multitude of things. That could be Wiggler. 3 reds could be Serena 2R. You could get that shine without revealing you did that shine. So, stuff like that. Keep that in mind when playing draft. Feel free to ask questions in the Discord. There's usually people around to help. I hope this interests a few people. Good luck on your matches, guys. Peace.